Good evening. Tonight on JNN Reports 2, Canada's bail system. Joining me, Martin from the Polite Party, Major Shepherd from the Common Sense Party. Martin, let's start with you. Canadians keep hearing your party talk about compassion and equality under the law. But when people accused of armed robbery or assault walk free in less than a day, they're not hearing equality, they're hearing alarm bells. So safe for who, exactly?
Safety, Luna, is a shared experience. The Polite Party believes everyone, even those accused, deserves the chance to rebuild trust with their community. It's not leniency. It's a recognition that locking people away without hope only deepens the cycle we're trying to break.
Except the cycle you're breaking seems to be between the cell and the street, Pathetic. It's just a faster rotation.
We can't abandon rehabilitation just because it's inconvenient. Our society's strength is measured by how we treat its mistakes.
Major Shepherd, your party has called this entire bail policy a national disgrace. You've promised Canadians you'll restore order and accountability, but no one's heard how that actually happens.
The Common Sense Party believes fairness begins with consequences, Luna. Canadians are tired of hearing excuses dressed up as empathy instead of results. If you break the law repeatedly, you don't get bail. You get a cell and time to reflect, not a weekend pass to do it again.
So your plan for rehabilitation is just... longer reflection?
Reflection works when you can't sneak out halfway through. It's time we stop confusing compassion with carelessness. Carelessness, Major, is ignoring why crime happens in the first place. You can't scare people into morality. It has to be earned.
And you can't hug them into obedience either. Sometimes tough love is the only kind that works.
So we have a party that loves too softly and another that hugs with fists. Either way, Canadians are the punching bag. Let's step outside the studio for a second and see what fairness actually looks like in practice. Those two women were assaulted by that same raccoon last spring. He walks free again, and they get to relive it. So that's what compassion looks like, Deb, a revolving door with police security. But while repeat offenders stroll home for dinner, someone's footing the bill for all that forgiveness. Martin, let's talk about the people who actually pay for your mercy. Red, the taxpayers.
Taxpayers fund the justice system because they believe in rehabilitation, Luna. Every reentry program, every bail review, every second chance is an investment in the idea that people can change. It's not about punishment for Dave. It's about prevention through inclusion.
Prevention through inclusion? Minister, that sounds like an arts grant proposal, not public safety policy. Canadians aren't looking for creative writing. They're looking for peace of mind.
And peace of mind comes from knowing our justice system treats everyone equally.
When we show compassion, we build safer communities in the long run. That's proven. Proven? Minister, your definition of proven must come from an alternate reality.
The only thing proven here is that your programs keep the same offenders on tour. Taxpayers aren't funding safety, they're funding sequels.
Major, your party's famous for calling everything common sense, but when pressed for numbers, that sense suddenly goes silent. There's usually nothing behind the slogan but volume. How would you pay for your promised crackdown?
We'd start by saving the money you waste handing out bail like coupons. Crime costs more when you ignore it. Fewer releases, fewer victims, fewer headlines. That's real value for Canadians.
Strong soundbite, Major, but no actual math. Canadians have heard that pitch before, right before the budget vanished into press conferences.
Luna, we can't put a price on rehabilitation. A just society invests in empathy even when it's unpopular, and then acts shocked when empathy robs a liquor store.
Seems like both of you have discovered new ways to bill the public. One for bail, one for slogans. Let's remind ourselves what that bill looks like.
While offenders walk free, someone's footing the bill for all that forgiveness.
Guess I sponsored him this month.
Taxpayers call it frustration, you call it reform. Let's move to what happens when that reform turns deadly. In the past year, multiple Canadians were killed by offenders who were out on bail. These aren't policy statistics, Wade. They're parents, shop owners, and kids walking home. People who followed the rules and paid the price for someone else's second chance. Minister Martin, what do you say to those families?
Every tragedy shakes us deeply, Luna. No one in the Polite Party takes loss lightly. These incidents remind us that the system, like the people it serves, is human, imperfect, but striving to be better. That's why we're reviewing bail criteria and expanding mental health supports. We're also investing in early intervention programs. We can't bring those people back, but we can honor them by learning and preventing future harm.
Minister, you've been reviewing for years. Each new death gets a press release and a committee. At what point does compassion stop being healing and start being harm?
Reform must be thoughtful, not reactive. Knee-jerk policies might satisfy headlines, but they rarely solve root causes.
Tell that to the victims' families. They'll trade every headline for one more day.
This is exactly what happened when leadership starts confusing empathy with weakness. You can't run a justice system on apologies and optimism, Luna.
If the Common Sense Party were in charge, those repeat offenders wouldn't have been back on the street. Our system would make one promise, Tay: safety first, second, and always.
And what does safety first look like? Longer sentences? Bigger jails? More slogans printed on podiums?
It looks like accountability, Luna. When people endanger others, they lose bail. You can't fix chaos with courtesy. Accountability without rehabilitation breeds resentment, Luna, and resentment grows crime, not peace. You can't build safety on punishment alone.
Right now, it feels like you're both gardening in the dark, one watering weeds, the other cutting the flowers. So far, we have heard compassion from the polite party and confrontation from the Common Sense Party. Different speeches, same fear. If both sides claim to be right, tell Canadians why the system still spins like a revolving door, with a security guard standing by just to apologize for it.
Luna, reform takes time. You can't rush justice with anger or slogans. The polite party is focused on careful, evidence-based change, and we've commissioned studies, consulted experts, and we're building consensus that lasts.
You've been building consensus longer than most people serve sentences.
Change done properly prevents chaos later. Canadians want solutions that work for everyone, not quick fixes that satisfy the evening news.
Translation, Luna. Be patient while the criminals work through it. The Common Sense Party doesn't review, Tang. We act, we enforce, we protect Canadians.
Real consequences? Your last platform had fewer details than a parking ticket. What's the plan after the speeches, Major?
Mandatory hold for violent offenders. Streamlined bail hearings. End the revolving door that your friend here keeps oiling. And build more prisons you can't afford? Locking people up doesn't solve crime, it just delays it. You can't scare problems out of existence.
And you can't lecture crime into behaving, Luna. You can hand out second chances all day, bad. It'll still come back.
This is the problem. One side wants to hug the problem, the other wants to punch it. Meanwhile, the rest of the country is just asking someone to fix the door.
We're reviewing the process. We'll scrap the process.
Beautiful symmetry. One promises to circle the drain, the other to pull the plug. Fairness was never meant to mean foolishness. Compassion should protect the innocent as fiercely. Somewhere along the way, mercy became a loophole and safety an afterthought. Every taxpayer pays twice, once for the crime, again for the study that explains it. Families get vigils, offenders get rides home. The polite party says change takes time. The Common Sense Party says it takes strength. But all it really takes is courage to admit the system doesn't need more talk. It needs a fix. Until someone finds that courage, justice in Canada will remain a very polite tragedy.
We are here at the scene of the latest incident, another night of unrest in our city.